G'day ladies and gentlemen, it is the Grim DM here, and this video is going to be about some more pickups for my second edition collection. So before we get into that, other thing arrived in the mail today, courtesy of my oldest daughter for Father's Day, which is not quite here in Australia. It's the first Sunday of September, but she orders early and she's the same as me. We don't like to wait, so I just opened it as soon as I got home. So she got me this shirt, which says, "I'm the Dungeon Master, your argument is invalid," and then a coffee mug, "The tears of my players." So I was actually going to get a coffee mug for work at the office. Now I don't have to get one. I'll take that. I'm sure I'll probably get a lot of questions what exactly it means, and they're going to have to listen. So, for the collection, I have 3 more Splat books. I'm a Splat book fan, as most of you will know. So, first cab off the rank is the complete Book of Humanoids. Now, pretty sure this is a later printing, as it doesn't sort of have like the faux leatherish sort of cover. It's just basically a printed pattern with gold text. Now, I can't recall whether I had this one before or not. I think I did, but I don't think I ever really went through it. So this is basically a book to allow a lot of different other races to be available to player characters, and the different classes and that they can go through. So we've got things in here like Bullywog, Bugbear, Giantkin, Gnoll, Hobgoblin, a Minotaur, half Ogre. There's a lot more than that. I think there's probably about 20 or 25 different ones, and then a bunch of different humanoid kits. So there's like warrior kits, wizard kits, priest kits, and rogue kits. Plus things like weapon and non-weapon proficiencies in there. So I'm going to have a look through this. Now, as a DM generally, I think I've said this before, I like the more, I don't want to say standard or vanilla, but that's probably what people will think of. The more sort of, I guess, typical races for player characters to choose from. So like humans, elves, half-elves, dwarves, things like that. I've never really been a fan of anything too much more outside the box than that. Even half ogre and all those kinds of things, I think they're very difficult to roleplay well, and if you can't roleplay it well and it can't fit into the setting, because your setting is going to dictate the acceptability of these sorts of things, then people are just taking, I want to be a half-orc, so I get bonuses to my strength and all that, but they don't want to deal with the ramifications about like the poor charisma, with the general acceptances of the populace of like half breeds, like half elves, let alone half orcs, that kind of thing. So still could be a good resource. Never say never. I've always sort of thought that if my process has sort of been, when I've DM'd and it's time for people to roll characters, if you want to play something that's not strictly in the book or out of the ordinary, I'm always happy to hear the ideas that you have. But players just have to know that it's not a guarantee that I'm going to sign off on it, especially if I feel like you're really just trying to get some sort of broken advantage. That may work a bit better for you in later editions of Dungeons and Dragons, but I guess by default I'm an old school DM, bit of an old grognard and that. So any sort of players that have pulled the wool over my eyes and found some sort of loophole, and they think they're going to be able to pull out any book and point to the rules and say, oh, well, I can do this and that, that's not going to happen. Story trumps rules. And quite fitting, actually, the shirt, your argument is invalid. I'm very fair, and I don't like to be a dick to players, but if players want to act like that, we'll put a stop to that quick smart. So the next one, Blue Splat Book, another one of the Dungeon Master's guides, and this really is one of my favourites. I've used this heavily in the past before. I've been waiting for this to arrive before I start my world building video series. I was watching one, but the price was exorbitant. This came up, so I was going to refer to this in the video. I thought, no, I will wait till it gets here. And that is the Campaign Source Book and Catacomb Guide. So this book is world building, talking about creating your world, but also how you run the game. And from making maps, look, creating the world, uses of judgment. So how you are going to arbitrate certain situations. Honestly, I think no matter what game you play and what edition of D&D you play, this book is worth picking up. There's obviously a wealth of resources now with YouTube and that, but I quite like sitting down in the lounge, having some quiet time and thumbing through these books and getting ideas and just, you can read stuff and be off doing something else. You could be mowing the lawn and an idea is going to pop into your head, some sort of adventure hook, or how you want to handle a particular situation. This book is brilliant. I cannot recommend it enough. And the last one is another player's handbook for one of the races, and given the recent miniature kick on the channel, the Complete Book of Dwarves, this is going to get quite a bit of investigation really early on. So again, all these books that are about a specific race have a number of kits in them, or different sort of player character classes that you can do that aren't in the regular player's handbook. There's more depth of knowledge on their culture, customs, different groups, more ideas on how to utilize dwarves as a player, and DMs can pluck a lot of information from this for your campaign world, especially if you have player characters that are using dwarves as the race of their character. These sort of books are really, really awesome because you can not only create a world that speaks to them as a player, but tie them directly into matters of importance for their race. Really, really worth getting. So that's it for the collection update. I do have one more book on the way. I was hoping it was going to be here today. So I guess I'll just do a separate quick video about that one. But that's another 3 books to the collection. It's starting to grow. So thanks very much for watching. Any comments, questions? If you'd like to see some reviews of these books or my opinions of the books, I'm more than happy to do that. It will give me an excuse and a reason to sit down and actually read them rather than just flick through and pick and choose. It was a big thing when I was a young fella, sitting down and devouring these books. And it's been a long time since I've sort of read them cover to cover, so it's going to do me a world of good too. So if you want to hear anything more about those, let me know. But that's it for this one. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.